Hey everybody, all right, so this is video 2. Sorry for those of you who had logged on. I kind of started in place I shouldn't have started technically. So technical difficulties aside, here I am back. Thanks for rejoining me here. Okay, so we had gotten to Matt's question, and Matt was asking about different types of content, and I was saying, base the content on the person and how they like to consume content, not, not what you want to create. So, all right, let's go to Hakan. I think it's Hakan. My question for you is, I'm starting a sales education. I think to price at $2,500 a person, but at some point I have to make other pricing. Where do you think the breaking point in number of people so I don't get ridiculous expensive? Or do you have other ideas about pricing? All right, Hakan. So pricing is a very, very big topic. And there are a couple different ways to go about pricing. You could go about it in a cost plus model. For instance, you know that it takes you $50 to deliver something, so you're going to charge $100 because you want to make $50 off that sale. That's the way it's always typically been done. For me, that's one of the stupidest ways you could price anything, because the consumer places a value on what you're selling that has absolutely nothing to do with the cost. So what I always like to do is, take a look at what is the value I'm going to provide that customer, and then walk backwards from there. What's the maximum value I can give them for the lowest possible price where I also make a lot of money? And that's a balance. That's not an exact technical answer. It's really up to you to go through and figure out, what the, what that balance is. Now, of course, you want to charge as much money as the market will bear, okay? So if you think people will pay $50 for something, you want to charge $49.99. But if you're in a position to want to get, more customers, for instance, in the last masterclass, I talked about discounting. I never like to give stuff away for free, but if you want to discount a product or service to get a few customers on board at the beginning, and get testimonials and other value from it, then I think that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. So, unfortunately, there's not an exact science when it comes to pricing. I can't give you like an algebraic formula. The other thing, Hakan, is experiment. Experiment and start quoting different prices. Look around in your market to see what similar things go for. That will help you. And it will help you because when people go to buy your product or service, they're going to say, how else can I get the same thing for less? So it behooves you to look around Google or wherever your market would look and ask yourself that same question. Where would I get this for less if I were looking for this thing? The other thing, and again, there's so much to pricing. I could do a whole masterclass on pricing. The other thing you want to think about is, what are the different kinds of value? There are actually 3 different types of value that go into a given price. Let's see if I can remember them all. It's not a guarantee. There's economic value. So there's like, I'm going to give you $100 worth of something for $100 cash in return. Sort of, what do I get the dollars and cents out of it? Then there's the psychological value, which is how do I feel about doing this, right? The reason an iPhone costs so much is because there's psychological value to owning an iPhone. And the last one is functional value, which is what does it do for you in your life? So I buy the iPhone because it makes a call. So, in that way, there's functional value as well, because it's a phone. So when you're pricing, you want to think about what are all those 3 areas of value, and how do they play into my price? So, depending on what you're selling, and you didn't give me any background, just saying sales education. I think you meant maybe you're learning about how to sell. I can't see your comments, people. I'm so sorry, but for some reason I cannot see what you're commenting. I can see that you do comment, but I can't see what you comment. So I'm sorry that I'm not paying attention to any of you, but it's just not working. Okay, anyway. In some products that you sell, you really want to go after functional value, right? Like, I don't know, if you're selling a mouse pad, okay? I mean, the mouse pad's not going to give you a whole lot of psychological value. It's not going to make you feel that good. However, let's say you went to a certain college and you sold mouse pads with the college logo on it. Now there's psychological value. You're going to be willing to pay more because you have an affinity towards it, emotional connection, all right? So think about in your products and services, how do you create that emotional connection? I did it just today on a call with one of your fellow tribe members, we were talking about selling clothing, and I laid out a strategy for her that had 100% to do with psychological value and how do you bring that into the purchase. It's an immediate way that you can raise your prices. All right. Let's go to Marie-Lisa. Marie-Lisa. I want to hear from you. What are your opinions or insights about marketing strategies in the cosmetic industry? Love your mentor sessions. They are so productive. Thank you so much. I appreciate your kind words. All right, so here's what I'm going to say. This is a perfect question at this time because we just talked about psychological value. Cosmetics are two things. Function, right? Do they make me look better? And psychology. Do they make me feel better? Okay? So when you're marketing, you always want to hit those two things. And the way I would do it is feature, benefit. Feature, you're going to look better. Benefit, you're going to feel better. And if you can continually have that two-prong approach, like our product helps you look better and feel better, but then like flesh that out, like have, you know, more colorful cheeks so you feel warm and proud or alive or whatever. You know, I mean, you make this stuff up. But you really want to go back and forth. Feature, benefit, look, feel. That's going to be the #1 way. So from a messaging standpoint, that's your answer. And then from a distribution standpoint, cosmetics for whom? Millennial girls, high school girls, middle-aged women, old women who want to look like, you know, young girls. You got to really dive into the psychology of where they are in their life. And when you do advertising that's more lifestyle driven like this, you want to be very, very particular, not just about the age, but about the life stage. So a life stage would be about to get married, about to have a child, just graduated from college, finally turned 25. You know, what are all the like hurdles that we jump over in life that we all like have in common? And you want to target one of those segments. Like, this is the perfect, you know, I just got married look and feel for you because, and whatever, you know, because newly married women, whatever, make up a story. And it sounds kind of odd because it's like, yeah, but it's cosmetics, work for anyone. But you're missing a huge opportunity if you don't dive deeply into one of these psychological phases, because particularly women will really rally around like, oh my gosh, you really understand. My wife does this all the time. She's on Pinterest 24 hours a day, and she's got all these boards organized by like exactly how she feels about her life at a given time. And she's like, I'm, you know, the only reason she married me is because I'm a marketer. She's a marketer's dream. Like, you could sell this girl anything. And it's because if you can, you know, get into the psychology of where she's at in her life stage, she's like, oh my gosh, they're speaking to me. So hopefully that helps. Don't tell her I told you that. All right, Adam. Hello, Peter. Really appreciate the guidance you provide. I'm working in a seasonal business, snow and ice removal business. We also are brokering salt to contractors from around 200 to 300,000 to over 2 million in, I'm assuming, dollars, you mean. We don't want to be in the lawn business much anymore and have scaled back. Okay, got it. Our issue is we would consider ourselves experts in the snow and ice removal industry, but it is controlled by Mother Nature and not very predictable. What would you do in this situation to create consistent cash flow? Thank you. Adam, so step back, right? You could look at the snow and ice removal business as a couple different things. So one is you can look at it as lawn care, beautification, property beatification, right? Just making properties look good. You can also look at it as risk mitigation, preventing slips and falls. Whichever way you go, you actually could have much more business down either one of those paths. If you decide to be not just snow and ice removal, but everything to make your property look good, well, I mean, you could sell all kinds of things, from the installation of flower beds to removing and cleaning up trees to fertilizing lawns to whatever. And if you go the risk management direction, you could go making sure that pathways are lit properly, making sure that water leaks don't cause slippery surfaces, snow and ice removal in the winter, fixing concrete and repairing pathways in the summer. Like, all about preventing, you know, accidents by having Mother Nature interfere. So I would be thinking about how do you build a business on those broader themes where snow and ice removal is just one piece. And even if you're like, well, I don't want to go either one of those paths, that's the right way to think about it. How do you broaden out a bit and provide a service that no matter what, it's annual, right? It's all year long. So, but it sounds like you've had tremendous growth, so that's fantastic. And this whole idea of like brokering salt, like how do you broker materials? That's a nice business. Okay. Again, if you're chatting with me, I'm sorry, but I cannot see it, so I apologize. All right, let's go to Lisa. Try one thing. Nope, that didn't work. Lisa says, launching a new location for our bridal store on April 1. Yay! Just the announcement for open date of May 1. Any suggestions on how to let people know their appointment and choices in April are just as good as they would be in May at the new place? Best way to keep a steady flow without panic or fear of missing out. Oh, that's interesting, Lisa. My first question is that really a challenge? Like, are brides really like, no, I'm going to delay my wedding dress and risk me not having it in time because I want to be in the new store versus the old store? I don't know. So, A, is that really a thing? And if it is, it could be. That's a good question. If that were really a thing, what would I do? That's a good one. I don't think I would do anything. I don't think I would bother. I think I would just go ahead and let them book the new place. The only thing I would say on the phone to them as I'm booking is like, listen, I'm happy to, but let me tell you this. I'm already getting a lot of bookings for there. It's going to delay a lot of our other processes. If I were you, client, I would come in as soon as possible in the place we have now. You're going to get ahead of the line of all of those women. And you were just in this magazine, right? So you look at all the press we're getting. Like, I'm not tooting my own horn, but I'm just saying, like, we've gotten a lot of attention recently, and gosh, it's a good thing that you called and you're on the phone with me, so I can encourage you to book sooner than later. So if that's really an issue and you're worried about it, that's exactly the way I would do it. Figure it out. All right, let's go to Caleb. Caleb says, Tom talks about scripts. I didn't think of asking him yesterday, but what are a few steps to get started getting a sales script together? Really good question, Caleb. So to get started on a script, you want to do the following. What are the features? What are the benefits? Who is it for? Okay. What are the features? What are the benefits? Who is it for? Why you? Why you? Why your product? Why your service? What makes you special? Okay. If you cover those 4 things, you've got all the ingredients of a sales script. Then I would script out all your objections separately. I can't afford it. I need to talk to somebody else and get permission. This isn't the right time. All those objections that Kendrick did a wonderful masterclass on. I would script out all those. The things I just said, the features and the benefits, and who's it for, and why you. Those are the basics. Any sales, anything you write is going to be in alignment with those things. Now you can color them, as Tom talks about, with stories. So how do you tell a story to illustrate your features and benefits? How do you tell a story to talk about who the perfect person is for this product? How do you tell a story so that they understand you're the best choice for them? So that's where the art really comes into play. And for that, you can try to do it with yourself, but you're going to do it so much faster working with a Tom or a Lisa or Sean or me or any of the mentors, because we all kind of put together these sorts of sales things, but particularly Tom and Lisa. Take a look at their live streams, but really for your particular situation and all the things that are floating around in your head, to be able to pin those down quickly, working one-on-one is going to be your best bet for that. So, but yeah, you're 90% there with the things I listed off. All right, we got Dr. Dodge. And again, I'm sorry if you're chatting me questions. My chat is just like not functioning. All right, Dr. Dodge. I wanted to ask the mentors, if you lost everything except the roof over your head and $5,000, how would you invest the money to get back to 8 and 9 figures? What would your first 30 days look like in the bounce back? The loss includes some valuable connections or resources. Gosh, I'd keep the $5,000, I would start going out to networking events and sell consulting services. I would try to get sales as soon as possible, money in the door. I would ask lots of people questions. I would ask to meet them in their offices and to take them to coffee. I would just go out and network my ass off. That's what I would do. So that might cost a couple of Starbucks coffees, but yeah, I definitely wouldn't spend the $5,000. I'd go network and drum up business. The business is out there. You just got to go ask for it, go get it. All right. I don't have anything else in here, and I can't see your chat, which is like super disappointing. So thanks for all of you who came to join me. It's the end of Q1 in a couple of days. I hope you're all working very, very hard on this year's goals, and if you're not meeting them yet, I hope you're asking yourself why and vowing to do something different for the next several months. And that's that. So I'm going to sign off, I think. I thought I had something else to tell you all, but I don't think so. All right, today will be short and sweet. You'll see me back in the tribe later this week. I'm going to post a bunch of older master classes that you all can watch and sign up for. Some of you have been clamoring for them. Thank you for those of you who have reached out to ask. We will make those available to you. So you know where to find me in the tribe, people, and I will see you soon. Thanks.